Hi, everyone. This is Twisted Granny Tarot, Sherry, and thanks for joining me today. All you Capricorns out there, thanks for tuning in. What was I going to say? May is the 5th month of the current Gregorian calendar and the 3rd month of spring's rule. It derives its name from the Roman springtime goddess Maya, which was where that name came from, apparently, right? Whose divine powers are encouraged the growth of crops. That's when women still were worshipped, way back a long, long time ago. And because without a woman, you do not have a tribe. If you don't have female plants, you got nothing to eat. Okay. So the traditional birthstone amulets are the emerald and the agate, and the hawthorn and the lily are May's traditional flowers. May is shared by the astrological sign of Taurus, the bull, and Gemini, the twins, and is sacred to Artemis. She's the Roman goddess with the arrows and the bow and arrow. She's a hunting goddess. Diana, which is the Greek version of the same thing, I believe. Faunus, I think, isn't that the god that's got legs? Wait a minute. He might have the head and neck of a man, but the rest of his body belongs to a deer. And all gods and goddesses who preside over fertility. Well, if y'all aren't in the mood for fertility, use precautions. Okay. All right. Now, the Celtic feast of the Sheela-na-gig. That's on April the 4th. May the 4th. Irish Fairy Day is May the 4th. And Roman Feast of Bona Day. I think I should look that up, don't you? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle, I'm going to cut, and we are going to proceed with the sign of Capricorn, because the way we count the calendar, it's the first sign in the deck. And this is, in case you missed last month, we might be the only card tarot reading video on YouTube that reads the cards in a horoscope pattern. I've seen other people, and I don't know what diagrams they're using. I'm using the astrology house format. And what all it means is the astrology, it looks like a circle and 12 slices, like a pie with 12 slices. And we're going to lay the cards down in each one of these little segments of this pie. The first house is, if it's astrology, it is about your self-appearance. But this is about cards, so it's what is on your mind most of the time. Second house is your money. Sometimes that's both the same thing. Third house is communication. Fourth house is your home. Fifth house is romance. 10th house is career. So we get a little window into every little category. Okay? So, oops. I guess I can put that there. No, I don't want to put that there. First house. Oh, look at what you have uncovered. Capricorns are in the mood to be expansive and more kinder and more tender towards the people that they love these days, because this is the goddess. You know what? I don't know what it's the goddess of, but she's always pouring water, and you would think it would be a water sign. Nope, it's an air sign. And Aquarians are the kind of people who want everybody to have the things they need. They want every kid in school to have a coat. They want every kid in school to have lunch. They want them to have shoes, boots, papers, whatever they need, because they need, maybe the Capricorn was lucky enough to have it all of his life, and you're not a Cap. So this might, for Capricorns, I think this is, you might just thaw just a little bit with regard to your well-earned, hard and fast rules on how to spend money and what to do with your money. Second house, okay. Oh, geez. Oh, you're talking in your second house of money. Well, we got the Queen of Swords, which is a very intellectual yakky yak 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 yak. Okay. Now this is a face card, so I pulled another one on top as a modifier. It pains you to talk about giving away money. It absolutely pains you. This is your good heart that wants to give money to poor people, and this is. But someday I'll be poor. So because we're having difficulties in America, it'd be nice to think that some people could change their ways. Well, for the government, for one thing. Third house, look at this. Well, this is, you have happy relationships with the people that you hang around with. This is a happy family card. So when you talk to your family and friends, you do so with a winning, loving attitude. All right. Fourth house is your home. Oh boy, what is this? Is there too much work going on in your home? Does your bathroom need to be remodeled? Does your kitchen need to be remodeled? I've read that a kitchen remodeling is the shake up equivalent of a divorce. So it's very difficult to get through because the kitchen messes up. You can hardly do anything without the kitchen. So so maybe you think your house is too small. Maybe you think it's time to sell it, but the markets, the prices are coming down, so maybe you don't want to. Okay, fifth house. Oh, look at here. We have romance and creativity, and it is the Queen of. And look what else you got there. The Emperor. Guess what? Ooh, a lot of you Capricorns are a lot more creative than you think you are. And this is displaying that fact. Okay, the Queen of Wands. Wands governs business. So this is, and your fifth house is creativity. So this particular house is about some kind of new invention that you have, or new process you want to try, or new group you want to put together to tackle A, B, C, and D. And who's the Empress? Are you the Empress? You could be. No, the Empress is the queen of all the queens. She has more power and money and better relationships with all the other kingdoms in the world. So you can actually do very well with it. This might be an indication of an outcome of a creative project you got going on at work, or it could be a creative project you got going on at home. And you could be a genius about it because this is a very important card there. And sixth house, oh, is work and health. Now we got a guy on a horse, work and health. Okay. Well, just in general, Capricorns like to work because they like money. And sometimes people can overdo their energy levels and become exhausted and even sick by ignoring their health, their feelings of being exhausted. So this card right here is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is a representation of Odin, who is a Norse god, and he had difficulties in his life where he made some bad decisions, and it affected his subjects, the people he helped or ruled over. It interfered with their lives rather than helping. So he decided he needed to look at the world through a different, or from a different angle. So in the legend, Odin plucks out his own eye and then hangs himself upside down in a tree for 9 days. Well, 9 days upside down could lead you to a different view of the world, right? Well, that's what this guy's doing. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're sick and tired of the job you're doing, but it brings you the money that you need, then what? We shall see, because you might not be finished with this particular representation, because I don't think you're done, ready to come down out of the tree yet. You know you're in the tree, and you know you're upside down, and you know to rethink a whole lot of stuff. But right now it's like that, and as long as, if you wanted to change your financial, or not your working situation, it would still have to bring you as much money as you make now or more, or it might not be worth it, right? Seventh house. Now, what's this? Marriage partnerships and business partnerships. So, what's this person doing here? Protecting what belongs to him or protecting what belongs to her. Because this is I don't know if I want to call him a scout, but he's definitely on the outside of the fort. And he's guarding the stuff that's in there. So, if your family and your marriage partnerships are important to you, this it might seem like you're eternally vigilant, and maybe you want to be, and maybe you need to be, because you want your family members to be the best they can be, and that goes both ways with you too. Okay. 7, 8th house is money from other people. Oh my gosh, look at this. Money from other people. That means income tax checks, insurance checks, lawsuit checks, and inheritance checks, or bonus checks. Unearned income is what it boils down to. We got these people like each other. So, if we're talking about an inheritance, I think that eventually you're going to get an inheritance. No, the readers are not in charge. Well, the readers and humanity is not in charge of when these spectacular boons take place. Somebody else up there is. So just be watchful. And if this friend, now, I'm particularly thinking because these people love each other. That's why I think it's an inheritance. But it is income tax season, so some of y'all should be getting checks. And if you had a lawsuit, then it might be time for that to cash out, get your check, and do what you need to with it. Okay? That's your 8th house. 9th house is philosophy, religion, higher education, and long distance travel. Now, most of those topics people would love to participate in. Now, I don't know about philosophy. That's kind of deep. I don't know about religion, because people are, generally speaking, are born into their parents' religion and they tend to keep it. Okay, they tend to keep it, but not always. So, but look at here. What are y'all doing? You are walking away. So I'm going to say that tells me that philosophy, religion, higher education, and long distance travel are not on your agenda for the next little while, for the next several years, until you feel like your financial status has achieved its due glory. Okay? But this guy's walking away from trips. So, ooh, there's real Americans getting arrested out there. So just stay home for a little bit. You don't need to fly to Europe this year. Okay? Okay, 10th house is your, look at here. Now, what are you doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is, okay, the Pope. This is the Pope. The Pope is the head of a large institution. A large institution, the church. Who's the head of the police department? He's a big muckety muck. He's the muckety mucket for the police department. And who's the head of the hospital? He's the head muckety muck for that. So this guy sets the rules and makes sure people dot their I's and cross their T's and follow the prescribed course. Okay? So this seems like, to me, some of you may work for a huge institution, just huge. And in a lot of ways, there's comfort in that, because it's very difficult for huge institutions to wither away and die, whereas smaller outfits are not suggesting they're more vulnerable, but it could be. So you really don't want to give up your big status job in the corporation, because there's a lot of status there, and there's money there, and there's health insurance there. However, pretty much people know that a person who works for a big corporation, their creativity is just going to be, because nothing matters except the bottom line and how people go about maintaining that bottom line and increasing their bottom line. So you might not get a lot of freedom of thought but it effectively pays the bill. So you might be, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt if you cast your lines, like fishing lines, or like a net. Throw it out there, drag the bait in, see if there's anybody, see if there is an employer that's looking for what you have to offer. Call your, well, let's go to the next card. The next card is the 11th house. See, where are you going? I just suggested you don't travel. But this guy right here, this is a business opportunity. He sent his ships out like Columbus did, or name me Magellan, one of those new world conquerors, sent out his ships and expects them to come home laden with gold, silver, plants, food, all birds, animals, whatever they could find in the new world. And he's here to welcome them back. So this leads me to believe that you may be exhausted with the hierarchy, and you may consider changing channels a little bit, so to speak. And so this card would suggest, because this card holds the 11th house of money, no, wait a minute, friends from previous employers. And that's who you ought to be calling to find out if those friends from previous employers where you worked are hiring, and what are they hiring for, and they need somebody like you. Okay? Because this seems like you're scratching around. You're scratching around to make your life better. And why wouldn't it be a good time to do that? And nobody has to know. They're all thinking about something else anyways. Hey, we're getting great entertainment on TV, right? Woo-hoo. Okay. So it can't hurt. Okay? Can't hurt. Go ahead and check. 12th house is what you think about when you go to sleep at night. Oh man, come on now. You stay awake all night long. You stay awake a lot. And you have thoughts about things that are never going to happen. This card right here in a regular deck there would be a picture of the devil on it. And the devil means what you most love and what you most hate. That's what it is. Maybe you have a terrible, maybe you have a terrible taste for really good chocolate. So you keep your Godiva around in a little cubby hole in your room somewhere, and you love eating it, and you'll give it to anybody else. But anyway, and then when you do eat it, you're so satisfied and happy with yourself. But this is all about what you love and what you hate. So that keeps you up. So if you stay up, because I don't think I can stand that boss any longer. They didn't do this for me. They didn't do that for me. They didn't do that for me. I need to find, if that's what's going through your head, that you need to find another place to work, well, now's as good a time as any, because they're not paying any attention. Yeah, okay, there's a whole lot of activities going on in the world that drag their attention away from their business. So you wouldn't be doing something underhanded as much as you'd be taking advantage of the laxity. What? Now be careful you're not telling yourself some lies, because this is the card that kind of bounces off all these other ones and all these other categories. So this is called a significator because it signifies a person who is a Capricorn. That's an earth sign. Now we got the moon on top of it. Why is that? The moon is not a truth teller. It's known to be illusion. Because after all, the moon shines all night, but it does not have its own fire to shine. It gets the sun shines on the surface of the moon and it reflects it back down to earth. So already we're fooled. Let us not forget that. So I'm going to pull another card. And if you decide to make a move, make sure that all of your ducks are in a row and that all of your initial situations have been talked about and expressed. And if you can, get them to write down, get them to agree. I don't know how to do that. But, okay, because we don't want any misunderstandings, which then the employer would tell you, we told you that. Okay? Now, okay, I put a modifier on this because I want to know what's behind it. Hon, are you leaving? Are you going somewhere? So well, because that card is definitely a leaving card. This is when the scene changed. So up to this point, you're reasonably content with your life and the money that you make. There are things that can change, but oh, here you're on the verge of taking greater steps and launching yourself into another situation. And here you go. So this is a card of you leaving. This is a card of you leaving. So cross your fingers, pray. Now we got another. Okay, I'm just going to draw a modifier. These are all good. Just so you know, you're getting. I'm not going to tell you get a green light, but I am going to tell you that what I see here is promising. Okay, so just go out and because you could do lots of investigation right now, blah 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 blah, and then not quit for a year. So go ahead. All right, go ahead. So you're moving, and this is the money you're going to make with your moving. What is this? You done got justice for your work. Justice means closer to the paycheck you want, closest to the responsibilities you want, closer to the accolades you want, and closer to the creativity. So, kids, Capricorn. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Guess what? You're probably gonna go work for a place where you know somebody, and of course, doesn't the LinkedIn world report that people are more likely to get jobs if they apply where there's already a friend at work at that location? Because now they got a good referral. Now the employer has a good referral. Somebody who's a known talent. So kids, this is a good idea. Unless you got a little sideshow going on, go ahead and do your research about what's next for you. Because this is what just went through my head. Because nobody's paying any attention. Think about it. No, that political is terrifying. If you allow yourself, if we allow ourselves to get terrified, we're going to be terrified. But we all know that while the little sideshow is going on over here, you could be doing something over there. So good luck and do it. Love you. Mean it. See you. Bye.